for the RTM on Wednesday, March 9th, 2022 at 7:06 p.m. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Representative Adams?
Here.
Bailey? Bailey? Is he on Zoom? Well, Burrell? I see you. Bright?
Here.
Casper?
Here. Here.
Chase?
Here.
Is Surf here?
She couldn't make it tonight.
Cop?
Here.
Dean Shinbrot?
She's here.
Here.
Eben?
Here.
Frickman?
Here.
Fritchie?
Here.
Gardner?
Here.
L. Gauthier?
Here.
Guadapiero?
Here.
Gustafson?
Here.
Hainline?
Here.
Hanscom? Hanscom? Ivy? She is there, no.
Here.
Jacome?
Here.
Massett?
Here.
Merritt?
Here.
Norman? She may not be here. Aubry? Kay Powers?
Here.
S. Powers?
Here.
Pacino?
Here.
Ray?
She said she might not make it.
Right. Scott?
Here.
Cimarero? Thomas?
Here.
V.C. Williams? Watson?
Here.
Weaver? Wells? I see you.
He's here.
Yeah, I see him. White?
Here.
Whitehouse? I'm afraid people didn't remember. Whitney?
Here.
And Rusk.
Here.
That's 29 at call. We do have other people that may be here, and I'll be checking as soon as I can.
Okay, thank you. We're going to have a moment of silence. I'd like you to all remember all of the conflict that's going on right now. Think of all the people who are affected, please.
Wells is here.
Yeah, I got you, sir. Mute, please. I can mute him.
Representative Scott, would you lead the salute to the flag, please? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I will take a motion to approve the February 9th, 2022 minutes.
So moved. Second.
I'm sorry, who said so moved?
I didn't hear who seconded it.
Watson seconded.
Well, thank you.
Are there any corrections to the minutes? Representative Evans, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. First of all, I got to just say, it's almost impossible to hear anything that's going on. If there's some way you can improve the sound, it would be helpful. The second thing I just wanted to say is I appreciate the fact that the minutes are being made lean and mean and lacking any of the questions or discussion that occur. And I know that's legally okay. But when I went to look at the minutes to make sure that the amendments, since it just says that they were amended, it doesn't even say what, how they were amended. It doesn't have any of my comments or anyone else's. I wasn't actually able to find the minutes from the January meeting on the Groton website, so I really feel we should have the amendments that were made to the minutes listed here, and I feel that the minutes should be posted in a manner that's obvious to the casual peruser of the town's website right now. The only thing I could find was the packet for this meeting, which did not include the January minutes.
Okay, Representative Evans, do you have actual amendments to the February 9th meeting minutes? Otherwise, I'm going to suggest you stick
Yes,
with...
I'm suggesting that the comments that I made, the amendments that I made, should be reflected under C.1.
Under 2.1. Is that what you said?
C.
C.1.
Under C, where it says the January 12th, 22 minutes were approved as amended, there's no discussion of what those amendments were.
But the amendments were put into the new minutes, correct, Madam Clerk? They are in the new minutes. So they are in the new minutes as amended. Are there any other amendments that Representative Adams?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. On the reception of communications, letter E, forgot the S. It's a typo error. Forgot the S under Adams.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And I was a little confused in the rest of it, after where it says she reported that Representative Cerf gave notification of her absence.
Under you.
Meaning that
Meaning
Representative Cerf was not here.
Oh,
don't-
the confusion are the pronouns. So she, being Moderator Rusk, reported that Representative Cerf gave notification of Representative Cerf's absence.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you. Any other corrections to the minutes? Okay, so it's been noted at the last few meetings that we don't need to vote on the minutes, so I looked it up. And according to Robert's rules, it says a formal motion to approve the minutes is not necessary, although such a motion is not out of order. After asking if there's any corrections to the minutes, if a member objects to the corrections, then we would make it an amendment. But if there's no further corrections, we can just approve as corrected. Does anyone want any discussion with that? Okay, then we move the minutes as corrected. Thank you.
So you don't need a motion to move or anything?
It says you can make them.
I know, I've read that before.
Okay. We are now at the citizens petition portion of our meeting.
Madam Moderator, sorry to interrupt, but there's a lot of live microphones in here and there's a lot of feedback going on. I'm wondering, since so many empty tables, if we turned off the mics that are nowhere near somebody, if that might stop the feedback as well as improve the sound quality for those online.
Liam just took care of that. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay. Citizens petitions. This is the portion of the RTM agenda where the RTM welcomes comments from citizens. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or, as directed, if possible, submitted written comments. Presentation should be limited to matters pertinent to the town of Groton. The moderator or members through the moderator shall ask questions only in order to clarify the speaker's presentation. Responses may be given by the moderator and or the town manager. Citizens should state their name and address for the record. So I have a number of people who have signed up tonight. Is there anybody else who would wish to sign up before we get started? You can always sign up after. Eugenia Villagra. Sorry, I just massacred your name.
It's okay. No, it's fine. Very well pronounced. Thank you. Good evening, representatives, Moderator Rusk, and town staff. My name is Eugenia Villagra. I live at 76 Riverview Avenue in Groton, and I will be speaking on behalf of Groton conservation advocates to the issue of environmental impacts of data centers. Global warming is the existential crisis of our times, and unless we act to do something about it now, our children and grandchildren will be dealing with an even more dire situation. Our objective is to lessen future impacts by lowering the town's contributions to climate change, not raise them with a data center. Data centers contribute considerably to global warming. They use staggering amounts of electricity and generate a lot of heat. We are concerned that the proposed data center will warm Groton's natural environment during extreme or prolonged weather events. So if they are going to consume a lot of electricity, as much as possible should be generated with alternative energy. It's possible to power a data center with 100% renewable energy. 2 such data centers are currently planned for Houston and Austin, Texas. The least the data center can do for Groton after all those tax breaks is pollute less by taking advantage of GU's current capacity to provide a commercial customer with up to 34% alternative energy. The town could also require that the data center be built to accommodate solar panels on the 250,000 square foot roof to power the batteries that will run the generators during outages or peak shaving. The Holstein property, where the developer is planning to build, with its forested hills, wetland valleys, and bedrock ridges, will make
Excuse me. Sorry. Point of order. The Town of Groton staff's mic turned off, so everyone on Zoom can't hear.
Start again?
Point of order. There's no sound on the hybrid part of the meeting.
One moment, please. Representative Gauthier, are you now able to hear?
I'm now able to hear. Thank you.
Representative Evan, are you now able to hear?
Yes.
Okay, is there anybody who can't hear?
Do a mic check.
Oh, they want to.
Can you speak into?
Can't understand it.
Yes.
It's all
Can you hear me?
Can you hear that now when she leans into her microphone?
Say a couple words. Just tap.
Hello, hello, hello?
Tap on the mic.
No, say words so that they can actually understand the words. Can you understand the words?
Speak. Go ahead.
We heard hello, hello, hello.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm going to have you start over again, please, so that everybody's
Okay.
able to hear you.
All right.
Thank you.
Excess mics should be shut off, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, representatives, Moderator Rusk, and town staff. My name is Eugenia Villagra. I live at 76 Riverview Avenue in Groton, and I will be speaking on behalf of Groton conservation advocates to the issue of environmental impacts of data centers. Global warming is the existential crisis of our times, and unless we act to do something about it now, our children and grandchildren will be dealing with an even more dire situation. Our objective is to lessen future impacts by lowering the town's contributions to climate change, not raise them with a data center. Data centers contribute considerably to global warming. They use staggering amounts of electricity and generate a lot of heat. We are concerned that the proposed data center will warm Groton's natural environment during extreme or prolonged weather events. So if they are going to consume a lot of electricity, as much as possible should be generated with alternative energy. It's possible to power a data center with 100% renewable energy. 2 such data centers are currently planned for Houston and Austin, Texas. The least the data center can do for Groton after all these tax breaks is pollute less by taking advantage of GU's current capacity to provide a commercial customer with up to 34% alternative energy. The town could also require that the data center be built to accommodate solar panels on the 250,000 square foot roof to power the batteries that will run the generators during outages or peak shaving. The Holstein property, where the developer is planning to build with its forested hills, wetland valleys, and bedrock ridges, will make building a data center there extremely difficult. First New England Edge is planning to buy a flat 17-acre parcel of open space land from the town. It's currently a small public park with a disc golf course built on it used by the neighbors, and is located right on Flanders Road. To build the data center very close to and perhaps on a portion of this parcel, the developer will have to cut down approximately 10 acres of mature trees. It will take a few days to cut all those trees down and 100 years to grow them back. After clear cutting, they will level the hills and blast the rocky ridges. So what? Well, trees and wetlands enhance water quality, control erosion, maintain stream flows, sequester carbon, and provide habitat to at least 1/3 of all threatened and endangered species. Migrating birds stop in that area for food. The data center development overall will degrade Groton's central greenway. You should know that the New England Edge is planning to donate the 50-acre western portion of the Holstein property to the town. That land has been badly damaged by many years of ATV activity. It is loaded with invasive plants, and it is located in a floodplain. Finally, stormwater management is another problem with this data center. Stormwater is water polluted by I-95 emissions that settle on the data center's 250,000 square foot roof. It mixes with parking lot contaminants, then combines with rainwater and flows into drains down to Fort Hill Brook, into our reservoir, and on into Long Island Sound. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to all of you here tonight about this important climate and environmental issue.
Thank you. Thank you. Catherine Pratt?
Hi, my name is Catherine Pratt, and I live at 75 Front Street in Groton. Members of the representative town meeting, good evening. I appreciate this opportunity to raise some financial concerns regarding the proposed host municipality fee agreement between the Town of Groton and Any Edge LLC, currently pending before the Groton Town Council to build one or more data centers on a 173-acre site off Flanders Road. Public Act 21-1, an act concerning incentives for qualified data centers to locate in the state, exempts data centers, as approved by the Department of Economic and Community Development, from real and personal property tax payments for a minimum of 20 years and possibly up to 30 years. The act requires no benchmarking or regular reviews to gauge the extent to which these lavish tax incentives are driving the job creation or economic growth needed to justify them. The carrot is the payment in lieu of taxes made to the host municipality, which, in the case of Groton's host fee agreement with GotSpace Data Partners and its proposed pending agreement with Any Edge, would be $1.5 million a year given certain conditions. But the payments in lieu are a mere fraction of what the actual real and personal property taxes on an up-and-running data center would be. According to the fiscal note for House Bill 6514, the precursor to Public Act 21-1, assuming the average mill rate statewide of 31.36 mills, the property tax exemptions for $200 million in qualifying property, which includes land, buildings, and technical equipment such as expensive servers, would lead to foregone municipal tax revenues of $125.4 million over a 20-year period. The stability, reliability...
Point of order. The sound went away again.
Can you lean in really close to the microphone, please?
Is this any better?
It says right there the internet is unstable, so it's our end.
Try again.
Can you hear me now?
Just keep speaking. It's being recorded.
We weren't able to hear.
Can you back up about a minute?
Sure.
Or just a little bit and start again? Go ahead.
But the payments in lieu are a mere fraction of what the actual real and personal property taxes on an up-and-running data center would be. According to the fiscal note for House Bill 6514, the precursor to Public Act 21-1, assuming the average mill rate statewide of 31.36 mills, the property tax exemptions for $200 million in qualifying property, which includes land, buildings, and technical equipment, such as expensive servers, would lead to foregone municipal tax revenues of $125.4 million over a 20-year period. The stability, reliability, and creditworthiness of the data center owner, operator, or co-location tenant is therefore of utmost importance because the town's revenue stream will flow from a contract which is frozen in time and far less secure than the taxing power itself. Thomas Quinn, the owner of AnyEdge LLC, worked for several years with the state and DECD to bring Public Act 21-1 to fruition. He also co-owned GodSpace Data Partners with Nicholas Fiorillo when it locked up host fee agreements shortly after the law was passed. Several entities affiliated with GodSpace Data Partners in data center development in Connecticut are engulfed in lawsuits and bankruptcies. Does Mr. Quinn have any exposure to creditors of GodSpace or any of its data center development affiliates? Is Mr. Quinn involved in any other Fiorillo-owned GodSpace companies? In April of 2021, when the town of Groton entered into the host municipality fee agreement with GodSpace Data Partners to build a data center off Route 117, was it aware of the pending foreclosure action upon default by Verde Group and other investors on a $34.3 million loan in connection with a stalled data center development in Montville that Mr. Quinn promoted and worked on as CEO and president of Verde Group several years ago? Is Mr. Quinn involved in this ongoing litigation? The RTM, as an independent legislative branch and final arbiter of annual town budgets, with a legitimate interest and important role to play in increasing fiscal accountability in the town, should request and obtain answers to these questions before another host municipality fee agreement is signed. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Jim Furlong.
Good evening. My name is Jim Furlong. I live at 57 Fishtown Lane in Groton.
Sir, can I ask you to step really close to the microphone?
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Jim Furlong. I live at 57 Fishtown Lane, Groton. At last night's town council COW meeting, the council came to a partial consensus to approve or reject a 20 or 30-year agreement on a data center. The vote is to take place March 15th at a special town council meeting. The firm involved is AnyEdge, and it wants to construct a data center at, as has been mentioned, that's 173 acres, and it's south of I-95 near the sheep farm. The informal consensus of the meeting last night was 6-3 in favor of a vote on March 15th. I'm sure most people here have more than heard about a data center, but essentially it's an off-site home for computers that are controlled elsewhere. They take up a lot of electricity, heat, and water, and one thing more, a lot of space. And the generators can make a lot of noise and create unhealthy emissions if they're not set up right. The head of AnyEdge, Thomas Quinn, who, as mentioned, has had a very active background. Until December, he was chief executive officer of another data center called GodSpace, which had been founded by him with Nicholas Fiorillo. GodSpace on April 7th signed a data center agreement with Groton for 207 acres of land north of I-95. You've heard a little bit about this, but I usually have to hear it myself more than once to understand it. Earlier, he was a chief executive of the proposed Montville Data Center promoted by the Verde Group. Announced in April of 2019, this project collapsed in a very messy legal battle that continues to this day. Quinn is mentioned by name in court papers generated by the Montville battle, but many of the papers are sealed at the request of the participants, so it's difficult to know exactly why he's mentioned. We do know that Donna Green, co-founder of Verity, made a dramatic appearance February 24th at a Q&A meeting on Any Edge, and she shouted at Quinn, "Why would Groton want to deal with someone who steals?" Now that's obviously the statement of a person on one side. Mr. Quinn has denied connection with the Montville's lawsuit, and he contended February 24th that he had virtually no connection with Verity, although the next day in the newspaper it said he was the chief executive officer of Verity. I don't know how you square that. Many residents have urged a thorough study be made of Mr. Quinn's background prior to any signing. But the Tuesday night Cow decision indicates that speed, as Mr. Quinn has kept pushing, is now the watchword. There are questions. Does GotSpace have a claim on the land sought by Quinn? Is Quinn threatened by the Verity case? Can Quinn warrant truthfully? That term "warrant" is used in the draft agreement. Can he truthfully warrant to Groton that he's not threatened by legal action that could hinder his performance? I don't think he can do it because he is apparently threatened.
Sir,
We know that.
30 seconds left.
I'm sorry?
30 seconds left.
Okay. We know Nicholas Fiorillo, Quinn's former partner, has complained that Quinn is obstructing plans for a data corridor. And we know that Groton Town Attorney Eric Callahan cautioned the committee as a whole on February 22nd that the characters involved in the data centers do have issues with one another. They are pretty litigious individuals.
Thank you,
I don't know.
sir.
I hope that you public representatives can promote the idea to your colleagues that a longer
Sir,
and much deeper
sir,
look would
you're
be
out of
very
time.
wise. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Bunny Furlong.
I think this will be a little high for me. Here.
Can you adjust it? Do you need help?
Pull it closer? Okay. I think it's all right now, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I agree with everything.
So your name and address.
Oh, sorry. Mary Ellen Furlong, 57 Fishtown Lane.
Thank you, ma'am.
Groton. I agree with everything my husband and our colleagues have said. I am here because I am furious, because I have been lied to. Saturday, I went to the Coffee with the Counselors meeting at the library, and I sat and talked with the town manager. And towards the end of the meeting, I sat and talked with the mayor, Melendez. He was about that far from me. And I asked that we wait a little bit on this agreement until we find out what is happening in Wallingford. They more or less got hit first. They have a contract with GotSpace, which was originally with Quinn and now Fiorello, as you know. And they have been told by their town lawyer that they cannot get out of the agreement. And they want to have some idea what is proposed for their town. Many of the counselors are very unhappy. They are having a meeting in April, whereas Fiorello now, with GotSpace, will make the proposal. I simply asked that we wait a few more weeks and find out what is happening in that town? Or do we want to wind up like Montville, heavily involved in a lawsuit? This couldn't possibly hurt Quinn's business if there were actually customers ready to sign with him and so on. And if everyone is so keen to put it in Connecticut, it wouldn't hurt to wait a few weeks. Mr. Melendez told me that nothing was going to happen this month. Absolutely nothing. And I shouldn't worry about it. We would have plenty of time. And on Tuesday night, at the cow meeting, we hear, we have to have a special meeting next Wednesday on the 15th because the developer demanded that we have the meeting. Now, what happened to our requests for a public hearing, which we have never had? We had a weird presentation, but we weren't allowed to make statements at that presentation. I have lost complete trust and faith in the government in this town. We don't appear to have any representatives. And I just want to let you know, we're probably going to wind up like Montville. I don't understand. I don't understand why. What is the race to sign this? Nothing will happen for several years anyhow if you put a data center in. They don't have the infrastructure for it right now. I am at a loss, and I'm thoroughly disgusted with the government of this town. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, next up is Representative Eben. I'm going to make a statement tonight. I will allow representatives to speak next month. We're going to put that under other business, but because it was allowed last month, I am going to allow it again this month. Next month, it'll be under other business.
Rule 9.6.
It's under Rule 9.6. So Representative Eben.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Can you guys hear me? I'm Representative Sima Eben, 51 Jupiter Point Road. Just maybe a thumbs up if you can hear.
Yep.
Okay.
You can hear.
Oh, good. Maybe that's a thumbs up. I want to address the RTM tonight regarding the push to sign a contract with Mr. Thomas Quinn of NE Edge for a data center on property that abuts Hazelnut Hill Road and Flanders Road. Apparently, the town council has already signed a contract with GotSpace for one or more data centers, which will abut Route 117 last April. Now, the NE Edge developer is pushing for a signed contract with the town council by March 15th, even though the contract is not even finalized, and neither the town council nor the public have been able to review it or express input on it. High-pressure tactics, also called hard selling like this, are the modus operandi of unethical and unsophisticated salesmen who use psychological and economic pressure to gain fast sales. At the public meeting held last week, the public were bullied by the EDC chair and not allowed to make comments, only questions, unless the individual was expressing support of the proposed project. Mr. Quinn refused to answer many questions and offered few details. If you're a resident concerned about traffic, Mr. Quinn said only 80 people would work at the site. If you are a contractor interested in work, then Mr. Quinn noted that 1,200 contractors would be hired to build the site. What I did learn was that if taxed, the property tax on the site would be in excess of $6 million a year. State law has exempted these data centers from paying property tax and allowed them to negotiate host fee agreements with towns directly. Mr. Quinn hopes to sign a host agreement with Groton, with fees estimated to range from $500,000 to $1.5 million a year, far less than the $6 million which would be taxed on if it were allowed. Data centers are energy and water intensive, and toxic chemicals are needed to put out fires in these centers. One such fire recently occurred in Iran, and a large one occurred in France last year. We learned that over 250 megawatts of energy per year will be needed to run this place. More than is expected to be produced by the new South Fork Wind Farm. Mr. Quinn was mum on how much water the center would use. Earlier this year, the town council passed a resolution to, quote, address climate change resiliency and sustainability as the central management principle for all actions of the town government. The resolution affirmed that climate change is a growing threat that's already impacted Groton, and it committed the town council to become a leader in combating climate change and a more sustainable community. The mayor, Patrice Granatoski, was quoted as saying, "We have to do something. We can't keep sitting on it and not take any action." Apparently, this new town council, when the town manager did not believe that action is needed.
Representative Eben, can you, we got to town manager and then you broke up.
That's weak internet connection.
Hold 1 minute. Okay, can you start again where you started talking about the town manager?
Excuse me? In apparent contravention of the town charter. And
Well,
making
then,
it impossible
Representative
for the
Eben,
public to
you were
understand
broken up.
what's-
You were broken up, and I
Excuse
don't
me?
want to miss. I don't want to miss what you said. We heard through the former town mayor, but you started talking about the town manager, and we missed that part.
A race to the bottom. The town charter, section 5.3, mandates that all meetings of the town council for the transaction of business shall be open to the public. However, the mayor has chosen to conduct the discussions and decisions regarding these data center contracts in executive session, concealing these deliberations behind a cloak of darkness in apparent contravention of the town charter, and making it impossible for the public to understand what is going on or what decisions are being made regarding the future of Groton. The RTM has been completely cut out of this discussion as well. Wow. I hear about these data centers and what is going on behind the closed doors of the town council. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Thomas, you're the last one up.
Good evening. Ian Thomas, 24 Jefferson Drive, Groton. I'm here speaking as a private citizen. I am greatly disappointed with the decisions of Groton Town Council in regards to the municipal host fee agreement with Any Edge and Thomas Quinn. Quite simply, I do not feel the council has done its due diligence on this document, nor is it responding in good faith to the legitimate concerns of the community. Furthermore, the mayor, manager, and majority of the council are not even following the established protocol for generating, reviewing, revising, and approving documents and deals such as this. As quickly as the GotSpace MHFA was run through the process last year, even that document saw more rigorous inspection and discussion on the record than this one. It went through 2 cow agendas where it was reviewed, commented upon, received suggestions for revision, and held for a preliminary vote and brought forward to a regular meeting. Then, a week later, during the regular town council meeting on April 6th, which included public comment, the council voted to approve the deal. Despite overwhelming public concern and comment during the February 24th presentation and the March 1st town council meeting, the town mayor, town manager, and majority of the town council, at the direct request and behest of Any Edge CEO Thomas Quinn, have chosen to hold a special town council meeting on March 15th, Tuesday, March 15th, for the explicit purpose of voting on the MHFA with Any Edge. This situation is incredibly problematic for a number of reasons. It is a stunning display of wanton disregard for public input and public opinion. The egregious nature of these actions are compounded by the fact that the document to be deliberated and decided upon has not even been finished in its revisions. As per the town manager's own estimations, the town council will not likely receive the revised edition to review until late Thursday or possibly as late as Friday this week. The sequence of events is patently unfair to the councilors in particular and the public at large. This manner of governance is the absolute antithesis of transparent, accountable, and accessible. Quite simply, these sorts of actions should not be possible in town government. Yet, here we are again, being asked to have essentially blind faith in a document produced by the town manager and town attorney in close concert with a developer who has been part of multiple LLCs and left a number of lawsuits and troubling allegations in their wake. This past year's worth of experience should serve as compelling evidence that deals such as this deserve every bit of scrutiny and critical thought, especially when pressed forward at such speed.
Representatives, could you stop for one moment? I think we lost some of the council.
Fascinating.
They're there.
Moderator Ross,
Recording in
we can't
progress.
hear you either. It seems the connection for Town of Groton, and they have something mute symbol
Hold on, we're trying to get it
on
fixed.
their
We're trying to get it fixed, one second. Representative Gauthier, is your hand raised because you were unable to hear?
Yes.
Okay, can everybody hear now? Okay,
Where did where did I leave off? What's the last thing they heard?
why don't you go back up about a paragraph and start again?
Okay, let's see. This situation is incredibly problematic for a number of reasons. It's a stunning display of wanton disregard for public input and public opinion. The egregious nature of these actions are compounded by the fact that the document to be deliberated and decided upon has not yet even been finished in its revisions. As per the town manager's own estimations, the town council will not likely receive the revised edition to review until late Thursday or possibly as late as Friday. This sequence of events is patently unfair to the councilors in particular and the public at large. This manner of governance is the absolute antithesis of transparent, accountable, and accessible. Quite simply, these sorts of actions should not be possible in town government. Yet here we are again being asked to have essentially blind faith in a document that was produced by the town manager and town attorney in close concert with a developer who has been part of multiple LLCs and has left a number of lawsuits and troubling allegations in their wake. This past year's worth of experience should serve as compelling evidence that deals such as this deserve every bit of scrutiny and critical thought, especially when pressed forward at such speed. It is a stark example of civic irresponsibility. We need at least a full week to review the document, followed by a proper public hearing, a COW meeting to work in any further revisions, and then a proper town council meeting with public comment to vote on the final version. Anything less is an incredible and shameful disservice to the people of the town of Groton. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions, clarifications to the speakers tonight? Representative Massett. Representative Massett, you're on mute. You're still muted. There you go.
Okay. Madam Moderator.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a point of clarification from you. I have been under the impression that under FOI rules and possibly even state statute that there are specific instances in which executive sessions are required. And I have a hard time when we start saying that for the council
Representative
to go
Massett,
into an executive.
Representative Massett, is there a question that you have for clarification? Otherwise, we're not.
Yes, my question is, are there specific rules under FOI?
That's not a question for first.
Can we address that question under other business? Because that isn't pertinent to the speaker.
That's
He
my
wouldn't, the
question.
speaker would not be able to answer that question. This is
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other
Yep, that
clarifying
works.
questions? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to receipt of communications. I have a number of things to start with, starting with Public Works Committee Chair, Representative Eben, resigned as chair, and Representative Roscoe Merritt has agreed to become the new Public Works Committee Chair. District 1 Representative Sheila Perry resigned, so we will be looking for a new representative for District 1.
Democrat.
A Democratic representative for District 1, thank you. Representative Cerf and Representative Ray stated that they would not be in attendance tonight. I received an email from Superintendent Austin inviting everyone to the every representative to an elementary school and middle school open house.
That'll be coming out, she'll have it next week.
There's a flyer that I will have sent out with more of the information.
Next week.
It just came out today. And additionally,
She didn't want me to send that to the
no, I
RTM.
talked to her. I talked to her.
She told me not to
Yeah.
do it.
And additionally, we have all been invited to a community vigil for peace on Monday, March 14th at 6 p.m. at the Soldiers and Sailors Monument in New London. It is sponsored by the Greater New London Clergy Association and Southeastern Connecticut Ministerial Alliance. So that is all of my information. Does anyone else have communications? Representative Thomas. Liam, can we get that microphone on?
On the bottom? No, on the bottom, there's a little button.
I don't know that he's on.
There's a button.
You should be on now?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on there.
All right. Yes, so I received an email from Kristen Earls, 144 Brook Street, and I believe she'd like it read into the record.
Okay.
It's not that long. Dear RTM members, thank you for your service and for your diligence in ensuring that our town council is engaged in responsible and transparent decision-making on behalf of the town's interest, particularly fiscal.
Can you speak really loudly into the microphone so everyone can hear?
To that point, I wish to submit for your consideration significant concern over the issue of the Groton New England Edge LLC data center host fee agreement, currently under review with the town council. The issue of data centers and their fitness for Groton aside, there are several questions related to the particular partner and agreement that are relevant to the RTM. Point number one, comprehensive cost/benefit analysis. In any development proposal, the town should, as standard operating procedure, conduct a full cost-benefit analysis of the project, including revenue, job growth, quantity, wages, full-time, contract, impact on home values, infrastructure demands, etc., and clearly lay out which elements would be delivered when and predicated on what. Based on some quick research, the evidence that data centers produce quality job growth, for example, is unclear at best. In some data center projects, the city or utility must deliver free substations or transformer equipment funded by taxpayers to the facility. Another point, New England Edge LLC, Thomas Quinn, assessment. In order to properly assess any possible risk to the town, a basic due diligence process would offer specifics around Quinn's full background, business dealings, partners, and experience. The town council does not seem able to provide any detail on whether the developer has ever led, arranged, or participated in a $200 million project like the one he is proposing, never mind a data center. As a matter of fiscal responsibility, Groton cannot credibly evaluate this opportunity with no visibility into the joint venture and other partners involved. There must be a mechanism for transparency here. These and many other issues have been raised by informed, concerned citizens who are asking nothing more than what any reasonable business entity engaging in a new partnership would require. I respectfully request that the RTM seriously consider these items as the town works to structure the processes and deliberate this and future proposals. Sincerely, Kristen Earls, 144 Brook Street.
Thank you. Representative Scott.
Yes, thank you, Madam Moderator. I too received an email from a constituent that I'd like to read into the record. I think it's an important conversation. It's from Richard Pascalini of 17 Lamphir Road in Mystic. He goes, before I was eliminated from the RTM, I had questioned the superintendent's authority of spending above their yearly budget. I stated that the RTM is the sole authority under our charter concerning finances, that the Board of Ed has no authority to authorize the superintendent to spend monies outside or over their approved budget. The question was raised when our education system received monies for a new 3-year math program. I stated that the superintendent or the Board of Ed should be required to come before the RTM with specific data as to the established metrics that will be used to show the program's worth, how many teachers will be hired for the program, and if the metrics were not met, would the program be canceled. John Byrd advised that he had sent the question to the town attorney for opinion. The town attorney's opinion agreed with my interpretation of our charter, and John Byrd informed the superintendent, who was not happy, yet nothing was pushed, and requested information about the program, and authorization of spending has never been presented to the RTM. Now today I read an article concerning the East Lyme Board of Education increasing over $1 million, and the explanation given was that the school district hired a number of teachers with money they received from the COVID relief fund. The town of East Lyme has a board of finance who has never consulted or approved the spending above the school's current budget. I would like to see the RTM recognize their true authority and notify the superintendent and Board of Ed that no federal or state grants or relief monies will be approved for spending without approval of the RTM. This would allow our representatives to ask questions and be fully aware of spending. We have heard from years of either zero budgets or cuts that it would be laying off teachers. The question would be were those teachers hired under a special program? The RTM would already know how many teachers or personnel have been hired under special programs and would be able to have questions about metrics being met or proof continuing that a program is beneficial. Thank you, Richard Pascalini.
Thank you, Representative Scott. Anybody else? Representative Jacome?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Some receptions from me. On February 10th, I was able to tour the Town Hall Annex. I know as some of the members here in the RTM, as we head into budget season, you were offered the same opportunity. February 12th, I was able to had a meeting with Children's First Groton. I know most of us were also invited there as an outside agency. February 19th, I was able to visit the water pollution control facility. February 24th, I was able to attend the data center presentation. February 28th, I was able to do the food box distribution with United Way and the City of Groton. And March 6th, I actually went up to New Jersey and New York to look at data centers with Councilor Jones. And we did some due diligence because we know it's a big concern here in the town of Groton. So thank you.
Thank you. I also received...
Point of order.
One moment.
Point of order.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Representative Eben.
I didn't realize that communications was a time to report everything you had done in the last month. Can you clarify what communications are for?
If it's related to the RTM, then it's relevant. Additionally, I received an email from Representative Whitehouse and Representative Hanscom that they were not able to attend tonight. Moving on to the town manager's report. The town manager is not here tonight, but he sent his financial statement, which I know went out right before the meeting. The fund balance as of June 3rd. Hold on, sorry, trying to stop some backfeed.
I got it.
Okay, the fund balance as of June 30th, 2021 is approximately $28.8 million, which is 20.9% of the FYE 2022 general fund adopted budget. Is that the correct date?
Yeah, because yes, it is.
Okay. And then the general contingency budget for FYE 2022 was appropriated at $35,000 with a current balance of $34,100. As of February 28th, 2022, the following transfers have been approved. $9,000 for beautification committee, And number 3, the capital reserve fund balance as of February 28, 2022, as estimated at $1.3 million. 1 capital reserve fund supplemental appropriation has been approved for FYE 2022 as of February 28, 2022, $33,000 for the athletic field development GCC.
Representative Casper.
Yes, Representative Casper.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. I don't understand the statement, the fund balances of June 30th. Okay, that's for last year.
It's because our budget has to go through a financial audit, and so the manager reports from last fiscal year. That's what I understand.
Unfortunately, the town manager isn't here to answer any other questions.
As of last June?
As of
30th?
Hold on.
So you're adding money from June 30th, 2021.
The fund balance as of June 30th, 2021 is approximately...
The statement doesn't make any sense to me.
Sorry.
I will ask the town manager to clarify it and get it to you.
To all of us. To all of you.
To everyone, yes, correct. The economic development report was given to you in your packets. You should all have received that. Moving on, we're going on to liaison reports. Representative Casper, do you have a Gulf report?
No meeting, no report.
Thank you. Representative Jacome.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Town Council Liaison Report for March. The Town Council met virtually for the regular monthly Town Council meeting on March 1st, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. 2-30-2 CDBG-2022 Program Income Reuse Plan. It was a public hearing. There were several citizens petitions regarding the data center and one on light pollution. The council approved 2022-9-3 town attorney appointment. We're pursuant to Town Charter Section 8.2.1. Eileen Duggan of the firm of Susan Shapiro, Wool, Brennan, Gray, and Greenberg PC is appointed town attorney, and that other named attorneys from Schuman Shapiro may assist Attorney Duggan in carrying out her duties. The council also approved 2022-13-2 Town Council 33rd Rules and Procedures. The council approved unanimously 2022-95-1 Affordable Housing Plan, setting a public hearing. The council set a public hearing for the Affordable Housing Plan for April 5th, 2022, and refers the plan to Planning and Zoning Commission. The council approved 2020-16-4 ordinance to establish a property tax abatement for surviving spouses of fallen emergency workers. This is an introduction of an ordinance to provide a tax abatement for real property for the surviving spouses of Town of Groton police officers, Groton Long Point police officers, and the City of Groton police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians that have fallen in the line of duty while in performance of their duty. The Town Council will hold a public hearing on the tax abatement on April 5th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. at Thrive 55, located at 102 Town Road, Groton, Connecticut 06340. The next regular Town Council meeting is scheduled for April 5th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. Thank you.
Yes. Representative Thomas.
Thank you. Just a quick question. Just on the votes that they took, could you just run down the list of the votes and share the tallies on each vote?
That is not necessary in my report.
I think if you want to know all of that, you can look at that.
Well, he did say unanimous on one of them, so I was just confused as to like the other ones.
Well, absolutely. For the ones that can clarify that, if it's unanimous, it's because the council voted all on the same page.
All right, so
for that one.
Just for clarity's sake, the town attorney vote, was that unanimous?
Would reference, if it's not on the report, it's a reference to the Town of Groton.
So,
Right. Yeah, I believe it was a 6-3 vote. Thank you.
okay. Representative Aubry, do you have an EDC report? She's still on there?
Looking at her. Muting.
Is she still on there?
You're muted.
You're muted. Yeah, you're right. Yes, I was. Thank you. Your question, please?
Do you have an EDC report?
On recreation?
Economic
or
development?
liaison?
Were you able to attend the Economic Development Commission meeting?
I have to apologize. As you know, I'm in Florida, and you're not coming through very well. It's kind of spotty. So
Were you
I
able to attend the
apologize for-
Economic Development meeting? Do you have an Economic Development Committee liaison report?
I'm sorry. I'll have to give a report next month.
Okay,
I really
thank you.
It's not working well.
Okay, thank you. Representative Thomas, do you have a Board of Ed report?
Oh, I'm sorry, I never got the notification that I was a liaison to that body. I sent an email asking to be appointed, but I never received confirmation.
I'm sorry, I sent an email. I'll send it again.
Okay,
Thank you.
Madam Moderator?
Yes.
I'd like to clarify, Representative Thomas, with my meetings on my report, it said the council approved the 2022-9-3 town attorney appointment. So if you do have it in front of you, that's what it said. It did not say unanimously. Just want to clarify. Thank you.
Representative Chase.
Point of order, I can't hear anything.
Okay, we'll try to talk up.
Not important.
One moment.
Could we request, or as a fellow RTM member, I think it would be a more comprehensive report, like for any votes, just to share the tally of the vote as well.
Liaison reports don't require that. It
I know
really
they don't
just
require
needs
it,
to
it's a
require.
request.
Okay.
Thank you.
Representative Chase, was there a joint Board of Ed, Town Council, City Council?
No meeting, no report.
Thank you. Okay, we are moving on to rules and procedures. Chairman Watson, you can talk very loudly.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure I have what I need. This loud enough?
Yes, thank you. You can
Okay.
pull it up if it makes it easier.
Well, if I knew how to do that, that would be.
No, just the whole, that part should move. No? Maybe not.
You got
Sorry.
There we go.
There we go.
You have to unscrew it.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm on. Okay. The Rules Committee met on the 17th of February in CR2 of the Annex, and we started our meeting at 6:05. Present were, the entire committee was present. Larry Bright, Adam Pacino, Jackie Massett by Zoom, Ian Thomas by Zoom. Our moderator was there, the town clerk was there, and Representatives Scott and Aubry were also present by Zoom. And we had 9 pages of what was handed down to us from the Temporary Rules Committee and from the RTM itself, which we worked from. And there were 9 pages, and by consensus, we decided to go through them 1 page at a time. And we voted on each page 1 page at a time. Basically, one
Point
of
of
the things...
order, Representative Aubry, can you mute yourself and no one can hear?
Representative Aubry is muted. Thank you.
Am I back on?
Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. One of the things that was suggested as changes is all the rules were changed to 9 non-binary pronouns. And examples there are he, she was changed to they, himself, herself to themselves, and I'm not going to mention every single one of those in those 9 pages that we went through, but all of those were suggested as changes. So, the first page was pretty simple. We updated it to 33rd instead of 32nd RTM, and we added a preamble that was suggested. And all the changes on page 1 were voted unanimously, first by Massett, second Pacino. Page 2, besides all the non-binary pronouns, proposed rule 3.8 was struck. And page 2 was voted 5-0 also, first by Bright, second Massett. Page 3, We switched the order. There's an order change suggested in the proposed rules. SI and SJ were switched in order, and that passed 5-0. Page 3, first Representative Thomas, second Representative Pacino. Page 4, Rule 6.2.8 was struck. Rule 6.3.1, a new paragraph was okayed by the committee, and I'll read that. If no member of the affected standing committee from any other political party besides the majority is willing or able to serve on the special committee, then any RTM member from any other political party besides the majority who is willing and able to serve on the special committee shall be considered an appropriate substitute. And all the changes that were suggested for page 4 were voted unanimously, moved by Representative Massett, second by Representative Thomas. We're at page 5. And on this page, there was only some renumbering and some indentation changes. That passed unanimously, moved by Representative Thomas, seconded by Representative Massett. Page 6. We struck a proposed rule 6.5.5, and that passed 5-0. Moved by Representative Pacino, seconded by Representative Bright. Page 7. There were only non-binary pronouns change on this particular page, and that passed 5-0. Moved by Representative Bright and seconded by Representative Pacino. And everybody got these, by the way, in your email. Page 8, there was an indentation for 9.2.1, and there was a blank 9.3.3 omitted. These changes passed by a 5-0 vote, moved by Representative Bright and seconded by Representative Pacino. And the final page, besides, as I've mentioned before, the non-binary terms, the wording in 9.6 was changed to, and I'll read it, any member of the public who is not a voting member of the RTM wishing to speak may notify the RTM via the clerk of the RTM at any time prior to the hour of the meeting is called at which they desire to speak. Their time allocation shall usually not be less than 5 minutes unless a different time is determined by the moderator. Citizens will be subject to the same restrictions as any RTM member. Changes proposed on page 9, passed 5-0, moved by Representative Bright, seconded by Representative Massett. Meeting adjourned at 7:08 by unanimous vote, and that was moved by Representative Bright and seconded by Representative Massett. And that concludes my minutes. Am I at a point where I move my minutes to be accepted first? Is that?
Please. Yes.
So I would move that my minutes be accepted.
Okay, moved by Representative Watson, seconded by Representative Scott. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of accepting the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. Aye.
Any opposition? Anyone opposed? Representative Fritchie, are you opposing?
Can't hear you, Fritchie.
Can you unmute yourself? I have Representative Fritchie is not sure.
I know.
Representative Fritchie, can you unmute yourself?
There you go.
Yes, I didn't hear my name, so I apologize.
I said all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
He said aye.
You said aye?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Okay, that passes.
Okay, so I have to get through that. I want to make sure that I thank Representative Scott. He took a lot of notes while we had this meeting, and our town clerk, of course, put the whole thing together for us afterwards. I want to thank you for that, and the committee. Okay, so I'm at the point now where I move our proposed rules for the 33rd RTM of the town of Groton.
Yes, please.
I would move that.
Okay, is there a second? Second from Representative Scott?
Second.
This, per our rules, needs a 2/3 vote. Is there any discussion? I see Representative Eben has her hand up.
30 people.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Yes, thank you for going over this, Representative Watson. I had requested that the word citizen be replaced by the word a member of the public, and I had sent this in writing, and I see on Rule 9.6 that citizens are retained in the last sentence, and I was wondering why that was. I would make a motion to replace the word citizens with member of the public will be subject.
May I speak, Madam Moderator?
A motion, it has to be seconded.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'm making a motion to amend that. I had requested it, 2 months ago, and accepted it in writing, and I'm happy to.
Okay, thank you, Representative Eben. There was a motion and a second. According to our rules, when an alteration or amendment of the rules is requested during a session of the RTM, such proposed amendments to the rules will be referred to the Standing Rules and Procedures Committee for consideration and a recommendation to the RTM. Any change to the rules requires the same vote as above.
That's only after you.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. I understand you read that last month too. I guess I'm asking Representative Watson why my comments weren't accepted. I didn't quite catch that in the minutes. And I had sent those comments and made them at several meetings now.
Are you, Representative Watson?
Yeah, I want to make sure that I know exactly what you're talking about. So could I ask a question?
Can I think I can clarify. Rule 9.6 on page 9.
Okay.
In the beginning, it says any member of the public.
Yeah.
But then in the last line, it says citizens.
That could be just a clerical mistake.
Yeah. Clerical mistake to public.
Yeah, because I said at the very beginning we changed all of those, and there are a number of other changes from citizens to public in the document. So I think that's probably just a clerical mistake.
Is there any objection to this?
Madam Moderator, I will admit that I did the notes on this for him, and that is my clerical mistake.
Okay, so we are going to accept that as a clerical mistake unless there's any objection.
It should be public.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hold on. Is there an objection to this specifically, just this one word being a clerical mistake? That's what we're talking about right now.
I got it on? Thank you, Madam Moderator. No, I can't object to a clerical error.
Okay, can we hold on and just get to the clerical error through first?
I don't think you need a vote.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's just
I'm not asking for a vote, I'm just asking for a consensus. Is there anybody who objects to the clerical error being corrected? Okay, then we're moving forward. The next person would be, we had somebody with their hand raised, no? Okay.
Just looks like it.
Was there?
No, it just looks like it. You see hands.
Okay, Representative Gardner, you had your hand up next.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. My question would be, why is it changed from citizen to member of the public? Can anybody from anywhere in the country come here and speak in front of our body?
Yes, they can.
Yes.
Yes, they can.
Should I say something?
You can.
We actually discussed that at our meeting, and I have been involved with the town of Groton for many, many years, and from past experience, I said this at our meeting, that you don't have to be a resident of the town to speak at a public hearing. You could be paying taxes in the town. You could be a military person who is a citizen of another place. Also, I can remember allowing children to speak at public hearings and meetings in the past. So I think it does include everybody.
Yes.
Okay, well, children are citizens, aren't they?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So the discussion, just for clarification, the discussion was around business owners. We have a number of business owners in Groton who have come to speak before the RTM who actually aren't citizens or residents of the city or of the town. So then the question is, should they be allowed to speak? So I think that was part of the clarification here. Representative, I'm sorry, I say your name wrong every time. Guillen Pinheiro.
Oh. What? Pinheiro?
Junipero, thank you. I think that it's a little confusing to refer to the moderator as they, given that it's only one person. So I don't know if it would make more sense to just say the moderator.
That has been changed. It is moderator in there.
Where, can you give a number of where you're talking about, please?
Maybe I'm looking at an older copy, but so you're saying that it's the moderator instead of they?
Is there a specific spot that you're looking at?
What's that?
Is there a specific number, rule number that you're looking at?
1.1, for example.
1.1.
I could address that right away. I said at the very beginning that we changed to non-binary terms, and I didn't mention every example that I have, and one of those is, in fact, in Rule 1.1, he/she, they was changed to the moderator by the committee. Those have been changed.
Okay, I must be looking at an older version then. I'm not finding the newest version. Thank you.
Thank you.
In the packet is the newest version?
Does anybody else have any comments? Representative Thomas.
Oh, yeah, this is just a clerical thing in the preamble. It says, "We, the members of the 33rd RTM, subscribe to the laws and policies of he Constitution." It should be the Constitution.
Thank you. We're going to take that just as a clerical error. Representative Guillen Pinheiro, is your arm or hand still up? Did you want to take it down, or do you have another question?
She did.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Mute.
Okay. If there are no other questions, then we are going to take a vote. So again, the vote is to approve the rules and procedures of the 33rd RTM as amended. Do you want to, all in favor, please say.
Oh, no, you need to have a roll call.
Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote.
So if you are on Zoom call, please lower the television or whatever the noisemaker in the background, because it's really Representative Pacino. Whatever you have playing in the background is when you unmute is coming through. So I'm going to do a roll call vote. So we'll do yes, no, or abstention, please. Adams?
No.
Burrell?
No.
Bright?
Yes.
Casper?
Yes.
Chase?
Yes.
Kopp?
Yes.
Dean Schindrott?
Yes.
Eben? Sorry.
Can you clarify what we're voting on? I didn't quite catch it. The sound is really breaking up.
You are voting on the rules of the 33rd Representative Town Meeting as amended by the Rules and Procedures Committee.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Frickman?
Yes.
Fritchie?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Gauthier Lauren? Ooh, I don't have to say Lauren anymore. Guineppiero?
Yes.
Gustafson?
Yes.
Hainline?
Yes.
Ivy?
Yes.
Jacome?
Yes.
Massett?
Yes.
Merritt? Aubrey?
Yes.
K. Powers?
Yes.
S. Powers?
Yes.
Pacino?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Wells?
Wells, yes.
White?
Yes.
Whitney?
Yes.
And Rusk?
Yes.
That's 27 in favor,
20
2 opposed, and 1 abstention.
So that passes. With that, thank you, Representative Watson. I appreciate your assistance with that. Is there any other business before the committee? Representative Scott.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we end hybrid meetings for the RTM going forward.
Do that.
I don't believe that is allowed by the state yet.
April.
I believe it's not until the end of April, correct? End of April. So per state statute, we need to continue doing
Please,
this.
another month.
One more time. So,
Can I speak to that, though?
Yes.
Madam Moderator?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. I know that some people really do not like Zoom meetings or hybrid meetings, but if you think about it logically, if you're not feeling well, or the weather's bad, or you're out of town, this is an excellent way of being able to participate, to represent your people. And the town has spent some money. I know some money was grant money, but we've really beefed up this room for this and several other rooms to allow this. Oh, you can't hear? Oh my God, I'm too loud.
And that is my point. People can't hear. We can't
Well,
hear
you know,
them. There's comments going on in the chat boxes there that those of us in the room can't see.
Yeah, the
It's
chat boxes.
2 meetings in one.
The chat boxes should be eliminated. The only reason I ever liked them is because if somebody left a meeting, they could say, I could see what time they left if they put a note in there. But, you know, it's not perfect, but the more we use it, the better it'll become, I believe. And I think this is the wave of the future. I think that we shouldn't have to subject people to germs if they don't want to be, or bad weather, or other things. Madam Moderator, through you.
Thank you. Representative Eben, you had your hand raised. Was it regarding this?
Yes, thank you, Madam Moderator. I just wanted to respond that the RTM had allowed hybrid meetings or remote connection prior to COVID. So this is not simply a COVID change. This is something that had been done prior. It's allowed by state law. And at that point, the clerk would connect members with her phone, but now we're a little more high tech. And I agree that it has been problematic to hear, but hopefully this will get ironed out. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Eben. Representative Thomas.
Yeah, I'd like to just align my remarks with Town Clerk and Representative Eben, mostly in regards to the hybrid meetings with public comment. It's incredibly valuable now. Like, we can see how many people have participated who are maybe perhaps homebound or unable physically to attend for any number of reasons. So I think it actually increases inclusion and transparency and accessibility for town government. So I think it's a thing we should invest more resources into developing and upgrading the equipment so that these little glitches get ironed out. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get better.
Representative Brill.
I just want to say that if you keep...
I don't know that Representative Brill is on.
Burrell?
There we go. Go for it. Really close.
I want to say that if you're going to do the hybrid, you got to fix it, because I was on a hybrid. I couldn't understand a word that's being said. I wound up, my computer's still on and it's actually listening to me. I actually come down here just so I could hear the meeting.
Thank you.
It was a waste of my time being online, trying to be a meeting here.
Thank you. We are working with staff and trying to make this better. We'll all get better at talking very loudly, and hopefully we can iron this out. Yes, Representative Garden.
So I have to stand. So one more month of this, we should have the majority of members here, not on Zoom. We got one more month of this, and then I expect the members to show up. And we have a budget coming up, which we're going to be here a lot of nights, and trying to deal with that over Zoom is not going to work very well. It's not efficient, and it's very frustrating for the members who are here and the members who should be here.
All right. Are there any other comments in other business?
In other business. In other business. You will be receiving an invitation to an orientation meeting for budget discussions. This is not a matter of our budget, proposed budget. This is a matter of procedure on how the RTM works with the budget. That'll be the 31st of March, and it will be at the Town Hall Annex in Community Room 2, which is the larger of the, well, it's the second largest meeting room, and it is capable of Zoom. That's where the RTM Rules Committee had a meeting, and it worked beautifully.
So I'm sorry, just for clarification,
It's March 31st. It's at
what time?
7 o'clock.
7 p.m.
And you'll get an agenda along with material for the meeting. And this is really primarily for new members. Old members know what they're doing. I don't expect to see old members there or seasoned members, just new members that may want this type of explanation. Okay.
Representative Gauthier.
Thank you. I guess this is a question for the town clerk, really. When might we be able to expect budget books?
Okay. The printer picked up the material yesterday, Monday. So we have to have the budget books by the 15th of March, but I think we might get them by the 14th, believe it or not. The idea would be we'll notify you when we have them, and hopefully we'll have the budget for the Board of Ed. We want all three, and the outside agencies. We like to have everything, but we'll give out what we have. So I'll bring what I have to the 31st. Those that haven't picked them up, but as soon as we get them, you just come in and pick them up, and or send someone to our office to pick them up. That's how we've done it in the past. Although the way past, we used to have the town police deliver them. Can you believe that? Wow, talk about luxury.
Representative Eben.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. In the past, we've received a letter that actually I used to draft that laid out the meetings of the town council as well as the RTM regarding the budget. And I offhandedly heard that the town council was having their budget hearing on March 24th. So I was hoping that someone would announce these things to us, perhaps tonight, tell us what time it's going to be, where it's going to be. But I heard a librarian mention that it was on the 24th. So if we could have this type of information, it would be helpful, because if there's anything that I can tell the RTM members is the most useful thing in trying to understand the budget is to go to as many town council meetings as possible. And I always find that the public hearing that the town council holds to be one of the best venues.
Madam Moderator.
So if the town clerk could confirm when and where that is, that would be great.
Madam Moderator, the budget review, it's called a draft budget review by the Town Council Committee of the Whole, has been sent out actually twice, the first one and the second one. It's available on the website, and it does have all the information of what accounts will be on what day. I'll send it out again, but it has been sent twice.
I never received
well,
it. Well,
you should look at your email.
Send it, that would be great.
You say
I haven't
that
been
often.
getting very much email, so perhaps there's some issue.
Maybe.
Representative?
I mean, you're on my email.
Representative Whitney.
Oops, unmute the town. I did it accidentally.
Representative Whitney?
John, can you unmute the town? I accidentally muted it, and I can't unmute it.
Sorry, Representative Whitney.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure if you called on me or not. You cut out there. Just a quick request for the electronic version of the budget books. It would be wonderful if those are scanned in a way that they'd be searchable, so that you could look up a word, say vehicle or some other word, and it would bring you to those pages that occur, or you could look up a specific town. That hasn't been that way in the past, but we really should take advantage of that technology if possible for this year, and if not, definitely for next year.
I will pass along that.
Document. It's a PDF. It's not a searchable PDF, but I'll ask.
So the moderator is saying that it's a PDF, or I'm sorry, the town clerk is saying that it is a PDF version, thus not searchable, but she will definitely look into it.
Yeah, I'll see if we can.
Thank you for that suggestion.
Searchable.
Representative Jacome.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Yeah, the form was sent out with the breakdown of the days, including the revised version. On top of that, I would recommend going to the Budget 101. Thank you to the clerk for that. I would urge all the new members to do that because I was in the same place, and it just helps kind of breaking down line item. And if you need help, reach out to me, Representative Edward Jacome, and I'd also be willing to help. Thank you.
Representative Scott, you had your hand up?
Yes, thank you, Madam Moderator. I wanted to revisit former Representative Pasqualini's email. Was there a referral in the past related to his topic? And if not, should we have one put in place related to the that no state grants or federal monies be spent by the Board of Ed without our approval?
Can I have a month to research that information and get back to you?
Absolutely.
As the RTM as a whole?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Representative.
Oh, I'm sorry. Representative Chase.
She can answer to it. We do it.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Yes, you did send that out twice, and the second time you did tell us what was changed on it, which I truly appreciate, because as you know, during budget time, we get a lot of emails with revisions. If you could continue to do that and send what was changed, so that we know what to look for.
Thank you. All right, seeing no other hand raised, I will take a motion to Representative Thomas.
Yeah, just to follow up on some of the correspondence we had and citizens' concerns. Could we make a referral to the Rules and Procedures Committee to see what options might exist to compel a public hearing if one does not occur for any sort of town document?
That falls under the town council.
Yeah, we can't do that.
But it's one that impacts financial concerns.
The RTM
when we get it, we'll work on that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, because
Thank
it
you.
will be referred to the town council, and the RTM.
If the town council passes it, then it will be referred to the RTM.
Right.
Correct. Representative Jacome.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.